Hello everybody, welcome to Love Bedroom Guru. It's a bit windy outside, so I don't really want to go out there. We've got that, Storm Callum hitting the Devon and Cornish coastland. It was horrific yesterday. Today it's just a bit windy, but at least it's not raining anymore. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to have a little chat with my little buddies. I hope you've had a lovely weekend so far. Even though it's only in the middle of Saturday. Do something good for yourself, do something kind, make sure you do something that floats your boat during this weekend so that you're all ready and revved up for the next week. Anyway, today's a bit different because I normally just pick a subject. However, I've had lots of different questions from people and I thought rather than spend loads of time typing, I'll answer it on here. It's perfect, isn't it? So I can just chat away and tell you everything that you would like to know. So the first question, a lot of them are on Instagram, is how did I start writing? I absolutely have had a passion for the English language and writing since a kid. I took my English O-level early. I took English literature as an extra option. O-levels, showing my age now, aren't I? And I've always written poems and stories all my life, really. I think a lot of it was inspired by me doing my own journals also during my teenage years, which helped me get out the feelings when I was going through my abuse. So I obviously did a lot of writing there. But to be honest with you, I never ever saw it as something I would do as part of my career, Obviously, I excelled at doing statements. I used to do obviously murder victims. Well, obviously not the murder victim. That would be pretty impossible. Even though I did see quite a few in my police service. Actually, that answers another question because someone said, "Did I used to read that you were in the police?" Yes, I was. I had an absolute dream to become a major investigations detective, and I achieved that, which I'm very proud of. And one of my main roles was to be a victim liaison officer for murder victim families, and I dealt with rape victims. So really my main role as a detective was victim liaison, which to me was the most perfect job in the world because I always found I had strength during people's rawest and darkest times. And isn't it weird how that's now transitioned to a more spiritual thing? I'm doing exactly the same thing but on a more spiritual basis. So it's obviously what I'm put on this earth to do, And I also found that, the statements that I wrote, I always got really good feedback, and I had lots of comments in court and things like that about, how I'd transcribed the worst moments of someone's life into paper. And it's weird. Writing has always been a crucial part of my life. What happened is that when I got retired from the police service, I started getting interest from people that were coming to do, articles on me when I started out doing my demonstrations and things like that. And then I got asked if I could do some articles for magazines, and I started doing that. So really, for the first part of my full-time professional mediumship, I was doing more, like mainstream spiritual magazine articles and things like that. So, I wasn't actually doing books or anything like that. It's really spirit-led, to be honest with you, because they just come out of the blue. What happens is you suddenly get a plop in your email, plop. You get an email in your inbox and it basically says, would you like to do this? You think, oh, great. So I was writing in a lot of magazines. I was very lucky. From 2003, 2004 till present day, so that's great. They were obviously, quite short articles. There was various amounts of words, but I think what you're asking is how did I get into actually writing, as in what I've been doing with novels. I have brought this up before, but after my road accident, sorry, I've got a bit of a dodgy throat today. It's really weird. Sometimes you wake up feeling like you got flu and it just disappears just like that. Wonderful. Basically, what happened is that I'd lost my home in Essex. I'd just lost my home here. And I turned up on my friend's doorstep homeless with 2 dustbin bags, soaking wet, because obviously I came to where I wanted to really drive home the drama. It was peeing down with rain, my 2 dogs soaking wet and shivering, and I walked in and just thought, I'm done, I've had enough. So, put it this way, the air was a bit blue that night, because I just went, you know what, you can just go and shove it where the sun don't shine. It was obviously a lot more colourful than that, but I've written it in the book, all the language. And that they obviously listened and thought, we need to do something here. She needs something to focus on because she's going to go through the worst time of her life ever. And then that following morning, I had the most amazing dream that it was a psychic dream. It was so lucid. And it was about how the world is coming to crisis through abusing the planet, through the power of people, the greed, the tyranny, and basically we're killing our own planet in every single way. And basically God decides, my God anyway, not God, but the source, the omnipresence, the source of the universe decides that he wants to try and save the planet. And so he basically has a plan to bring 4 indigo children up to heaven, but he's got a bit of a problem because he can't, because they're not died yet. So he incarnates 4 angels into humans, so they can come down and when the time is right, bring the souls up so that they can stand before the omnipresence and be given missions back down on the earth plane to make humans aware of how much crisis the planet's really in. The weird thing is that some of the things because I finished the book years ago, and one of them was to do with the suicide bomber in Arena. Now, it's the spooky echoes of what's happening now that I've written about 3-4 years ago. So I don't know if it's a channeled message for me to get the book out, as a fundamental spiritual educational thing as well as a fictional novel. Anyway, it did the trick because I was absolutely obsessed with writing that story. And even though I was very, very poorly and went through the worst time of my life, as you'll read in the book, and this is the other book I wrote, it just shows you that basically writing can be your cathartic way of getting through things. It can be a process of healing as well. And so that kind of kept me going, knowing that I had to finish that book. The fact that it hasn't even gone to a publisher and an agent don't want it, it's got nothing to do with it. But the whole point is that it will go at some point. But, and this is the but, something else started happening. I started getting other dreams during my transitional time about writing this story. So there's a lot of fictional stories that were brought through and channeled. And the most interesting thing is, and I know I've said this before, but I found out through channeling Julianus once that I had someone called Elizabeth Bowen helping me write the books. And I thought, well, who's Elizabeth Bowen? So I Googled it, and she was a Victorian novelist that also had a massive forte in writing supernatural fiction. I was like, oh my God. So I've got this Victorian novelist helping me. Hence why I mostly got all this vintage thing going on in my bedroom, which I never really loved before. So that was the fiction part. Then as I've come through my journey and got to the most heavenly, most contented place in my life I've ever been, I then was inspired for them to say, I was then inspired because they then started saying to me, write your story. And so Me, Myself and I, Diary of a Psychic, is purely me explaining or detailing the absolute fundamentals of the human spirit and survival, because I went through just the worst time ever, and I actually still writing it in the moment, that book. And when I read some of the things I put in my journal, which I've forgotten, I think, my God, how did I ever get to this place? Absolute miracles they pulled off. And so that's the one that I'm going to actually push for with the agents and the publishers. What's even more amazing is that obviously, because I've been out of the loop for a while, I actually sat there one day. I'm giving you all the spoilers of the book now, and I actually sat there one day and went, well, this is not going to go anywhere. I've got nothing to back it up, because they always ask, have you been published? And I'm like, yeah, ages ago, before my accident, because everything dried up, because I couldn't honour anything. I even had a book deal before the accident, which is a bit of a killer now. Anyway, I said, you know, at the end of the day, I've got nothing. I'm blot on the landscape. I'm just nothing now. So how am I going to like say how remarkable I am? Blah blah blah. And the following day, I get an email from Fate and Fortune magazine saying, "Can you do this column?" I'm like psychic detective. And then about a month later, I get the one, "Can you do the column Diary of a Psychic?" And I was just like, oh my God, just out of the blue. It's just ridiculous. They delivered it because they want me to be this writer. They want part of my knowledge and part of what they've taught me and what I've learned from this transition is to be put in the written word so that I can spread it to the masses so they can, you know, get through the darkest times of their life. It covers mental health, it covers chronic illness, it covers people having breakdowns and how to get back to that space where you're totally happy. In fact, more happier than you've ever been in your life. And so what I would say with the writing is it's always been in me, but the spirit world, the angel realms, brought it out in me through the dreams they brought me. It was almost like an addiction that I had to write what they were, you know, giving me through dream state, which was pretty amazing. So I never, ever planned to write a novel. It was always one of those wishes. I think we all got a book in us, you know, but I know that it's part of my future and I know it will get published. I know that I will be an author as well as perhaps a psychic medium. I don't know. I think it's more about teaching and I think it's more about helping people get through the human experience rather than, you know, I thought my past reason for being was just to prove the afterlife. But no, I think this is all about how to help people on the human experience because it's so bloody tough. Anyway, it's a very long answer, but that's to one of the questions about how did you start writing? How did you go about starting as a psychic medium and doing readings? Haha. Again, I've told you loads of times, I come from many generations before me of psychic mediums. The line used to run of seventh sons, seventh sons, seventh sons, seventh sons. That generation broke with my dad's generation, and then I was the one that kind of took up the legacy. However, all of my family are psychic healers, mediums. As you know, a lot of you have been getting readings from Richard, who is just absolutely on fire at the moment. My brother, Richard Morley. So look him up on Facebook if you want to read him. Because for me, at the moment, with all of my human stuff I'm doing, I'm not, you know, doing phone readings. I haven't got time and I haven't got the energy because I'm doing too much at the moment with my new home and everything, and writing. So yeah, he's just doing incredibly well. My sister's exactly the same. She's an excellent healer. We are planning some paranormal investigations at some point. We've got some exciting things coming up for next year. 3 siblings doing spooky stuff. It's a bit different, isn't it? So yeah, so obviously I've always been psychic. I always thought it was part of everybody's, you know, life that you could feel things, sense things, see things move. I thought that was all part of it. Obviously, my first time that I saw a spirit person was my dad, 3 days after he died when I was 9. So I was always aware of it. However, even when I got in the police, I was a police cadet and I used to do readings. And people used to go, oh, she could do readings. So, you know, I used to sit there with like a bottle of cider. Oh God, police headquarters, those were the days. And do readings for people. And it was almost a bit like a parlour game or a party trick, you know. Everybody's, oh, she could do a reading. So I used to do it mainly drunk, which was really naughty. Come on, I was only like 17. So I used to do readings like that. And that kind of carried on, to be honest with you, until I think I was about 20. I was 21, and I remember going to a working man's club up in Oxford, and a lady sat down, and I kept getting flashes of things, and without even thinking about it, I went up to her and basically gave a reading to her, and I didn't even intend to, and she lost the plot because she'd actually witnessed a murder, and it really mucked her up. And it was a murder victim coming through to say, don't worry, I know that, you know, you were really scared and you didn't tell the police the full story. And I thought, Christ, this is really serious here. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this is really like deep. And she was so upset, and I didn't want to upset her, but it was healing for her though, but it was shocking for her, and I thought, this is really serious shit here. So I then started going to spirit fairs and things like that, because I never went to circles because, you know, busman's holiday really. I didn't know about spiritual churches much. I really didn't do any of that. And I started going to these psychic fairs, walked into one in Chafford 100 and Grays in Essex, and I went to get this reading. This woman said, "What are you doing sitting that side of the table? You should be here. What are you doing? Come and sit next to me." And so she basically mentored me. Rose, her name was, bless her heart. And she mentored me into how to channel it so that I could like form stages of a reading, you know, for people. A beginning, a middle and an end, and how to channel the spirit people, how to, you know, understand what to say and how to deliver information to the person. And then it started off from there. So during the day I was a copper, and by night I was supernatural woman. I'm only joking. And then by night I was doing evenings of, you know, like readings for girls, going around to people's houses and stuff like that. So I also used a lot of it during my work. So I used a lot of psychic intuition with my work and got lots of results from doing that. And then when I got retired from the police service, there was no way that I was going to become a full-time medium, and they had different plans. And again, I think I've already mentioned this to you. The house became alive. All of my CVs and applications that went in, even with my name written on the job, got lost or didn't go through. And I even tried to do a job that didn't need any qualifications, you know, like McDonald's, just as an experiment. And they said that I was that they didn't have anybody available. So there wasn't any spaces available. I can't even get a job there. It was just really weird. Couldn't get a job anywhere. I did end up doing some private fraud investigation for insurance companies, but that was too dangerous because I'd found myself in a really bad predicament in Brixton, and I thought no. Then I also lectured in a university, and that lasted a couple of months because it just brought the worst out in me because I couldn't deal with the fact that I had no power over these kids that were little bastards actually. I couldn't deal with that. And I was just desperately trying to find a job that didn't have anything to do with spirit people because I thought I won't be able to do that. You know, it's all that self-ego, self-doubt and all the rest of it. Anyway, the house became alive. Light bulbs exploded above my head. Chandeliers swayed. I had voices everywhere I went. Even my partner at the time could hear them. People calling my name went in the bedroom. I had baby crying in every single night. And then when I went to follow the sound, it went elsewhere. The place was alive with spirit people. They were not happy that I was not surrendering and doing my job. I ended up going to have a reading with someone because my mate was too scared to go on her own. Turned up, she opened the door and said, "Unless you start doing this full time, that baby's not going to start crying in your house." First thing that come out of her. I was like, right, okay, that was a fly, by the way, if anybody says what was that. And so I thought, right, okay, so I started development circles. And then I thought, do you know what, you know, I'll have a little cheeky go. And my beautiful friend, who had a salon in Rayleigh, said, look, I'm not going to charge you, just use one of my salon rooms. Did my first reading, did my second reading, did my third reading. Before I knew it, I had a 6-month waiting list, and the rest is history. It just went woof, massively. Some people didn't like it because I'd come from nowhere and everybody was talking about me and I was getting booked here, there and everywhere. So there was a lot of jealousy, there were a lot of problems. So I tended to kind of keep myself to myself and just do what I needed to do. And I loved every minute of it. So that's how I became doing readings. So what's the next one? Do you need to get insurance to do your job? Yes. And the other one, oh, what else is this? And how can I make a living from my gift? Right, okay. As you can see, a lot of how I am and what I do is inspired by them showing me. So I never, you know, I know that I get inspired thoughts. I think, I'm going to do that next. Like the angel tarot card readings. I think, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that because it's not going to use a lot of energy up. I can do it when I want. And they brought that to me. They gave me the you know, the inspiration and kept pushing and pushing. Because they're like bosses. They, you know, these bosses up there, they're not, they won't have it. You will do it. I don't want to do it. Oh, yeah, you will do it, actually. That's why I'm doing these. I didn't want to sit here in my bloody pyjamas talking to you. You're thinking, I did, but I didn't, if you know what I mean. What are you thinking of, sitting in your pyjamas talking to people? But, oh, my God, the emails and the things that I've done to help people is unbelievable. But yeah, they told me to do this. So a lot of it is inspired by them. They will tell you when you're ready if you're going to do this as a working medium, working psychic, working healer. They will basically deliver the path and say, there it is, walk on it, because we've got your back. So if you do have gifts, if you do have anything that you believe will be able to help the public, the one thing is the intention has to be right. If you are just wanting to go in it just to make money, that ain't going to work, because your intention to the universe is just want to make money. They don't understand material needs. The whole point is that you want to help people, but by doing that you're using your time, and so you have to charge money. And this is a big thing, and I did get on my soapbox about this, didn't I, a couple of videos ago, that people exploit it, and I hate that. I think it's disgusting. All right, so we're not charging for our gift. It's like people, you know, all the skeptics, and you get all the trolls going, oh, you exploit people, you take money for you know, people that are vulnerable. Well, they're the ones that come to us for a start. We don't force our bloody abilities on them at all. And number two, it's like a footballer. You know, people don't mind footballers getting millions, disgusting amounts of money just because they're naturally good at a game. You know, people don't worry about the fact that someone's naturally good at painting, you know, an artist, and they get paid millions. We don't get paid millions. Well, some of them do, but it's another story. But do you know what I mean? So we're not, yes, we have got a gift. We've got a natural talent. It's not painting or football, but it's helping counsel people, helping through the worst time of their life. And so, yes, we do charge for that, because we have to live, you know, if the spirit world provided a little spirit hut for us, with a little spirit telly, and paid our spirit bills, we'd be fine, wouldn't we? But they don't do that, because we've got to live on a material, we've got to live in a material world. So basically, yes, you do have to charge for your time. You know, otherwise, how are you going to pay your bills? You know, you obviously give some back. I used to, you know, especially when I was doing my demonstrations, I used to do loads of charity work, I used to do loads of things for nothing, and I still do. There are still people that speak to me and I do things for nothing. I really do. In fact, you know, most of my work now, I'm not getting paid for, you know, because I love doing it, and I've got a roof over my head. And I think, well, if I've got a roof over my head, why do I need to push for money, you know? Yeah, it's not exactly a luxury lifestyle, but hey. And the thing is that it is a fine line between exploiting. You need to look at how much people are charging people. To be honest with you, you know, £30–40 is a really good fee for someone if you're giving them like 40 minutes, an hour of your time. It is, people say it is a lot if you compare it to, I don't know, someone that's working in a shop, but we are actually providing something that lots of people can't provide, okay? So think about charges, think about if it's extortionate or not, think about giving back for free as well, so that you get that equal balance of mutual energy there. Yes, everything has to be completely by the book nowadays, because I can't remember the name of the law, because I really don't even want to enter into the humanistic part of this sceptical thing that was done. But a bunch of skeptics basically went in and went behind our back, did it very, very quickly without us even getting a chance to defend ourselves. And they got a bill through Parliament that we should be part, I think it's the Consumer Credit Act or something, I don't know. And so we're now liable. Hence, if you say to somebody, your daddy's here, and they don't like it, they can sue you. If you say, if you do a workshop and you tell people to go into meditation, they get a headache afterwards, they can sue you, whatever. And so yes, you do have to get insurance to cover your practice, whether it's holistic healing, psychic, mediumship, whatever it is, you have to get insurance. I recommend Balens, B-A-L-E-N-S, and most people will, to be honest with you. They deal with, it's not expensive. Mine is £80 a year, and that covers up to £4 million of liability in every way, shape, forward. You know, whether it's a demonstration, workshop, we've got to do it because it's been made law. That is why, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again, that is why we have to put, it's for entertainment purposes only, results cannot be guaranteed. It's like, it looks like to someone that doesn't know about this that we're trying to get out of it. You know, I might tell you this, but oh God, just in case it's wrong, it's not that at all. Legally, we have to put it on everything. We have to verbally tell you, we have to put it on written emails, or if you've had a reading, we have to put it on there. It's a pain in the arse, but as I said before, the bigger profile people are the ones that are going to get hit. the smaller people, and they're normally ones that haven't got insurance, that are like, you know, charging loads of money, really not very good at what they do. They're the ones that get away with it because they're off the radar. Hey ho. So yes, you do have to get insurance. Again, as I said to you, most things are spirit led. So if you want to start making this, turning this into a living, if it doesn't flow and you keep pushing, you don't get clients, or you know you can't get anywhere, then the universe and the spirit world are saying it's not right, not yet. Okay, normally it drops into your lap. It will drop into your lap. It's like someone once said to me, "How do you become a platform medium? You know, getting up on the stage or going to do addresses to audiences in you know, centres and churches." And I said, you know what, normally it turns out that they will just go plop, in you go. And with me it was the same. You know, someone had cancelled or was late to do their platform mediumship, so they shoved me in and said, "Oh, can you get up there?" And I went, "Oh, I don't know about that." And they said, "Yeah, go on, just get up there, you'll be fine." So I did that, and I thought, I did all right there. And then I went into a new circle, and within a month she said, "You can do this, stand on your head, get up there." And I did, and it was amazing. You know, so basically it will be led for you. So don't push it too much if it doesn't flow. Let them tell you when it's right, and you'll feel that instinct, like we did on the last video about intuition. You'll think, "I can do it now." Facebook and word of mouth is really the biggest thing. Word of mouth for me, I didn't, obviously back in the day, 2003, 2004, I didn't advertise at all. I don't even think I was on Facebook, as you know, with Nicky or anything. It was basically word of mouth, and it just grew and grew and grew. And before I know it, it was like 2-year waiting list, which is ridiculous. But you know, you are your own brand, if that makes sense. So by word of mouth recommendation, that is how you'll get noticed. You know, and before I knew it, I think within about 6 months of my professional, working as a full-time professional, I then got my first offer to do what was it, Desolate Landscape, the documentary on Hindley and Brady, went up there. So, you know, things just naturally fall in place. People will be inspired to contact you or speak with someone, which is all part of this intricate universal plan, and then bang, it was like angels. I didn't apply for it. I didn't even, you know, I didn't do anything. I just got a phone call, and I was in the middle of Sainsbury's saying, "Oh, hello, we've found you. Can we ask you to come out and do auditions and do readings for us at Sky?" And I'm like, "What? How did you find me?" And they said, "Oh, we just put in angels and psychic mediums, and we knew it had to be you." Okay then, see what I mean? It's all led. It all synchronicity and events will lead to you doing what you should be doing. And really, it does work that way. If you force it and it's not right, it won't flow. If you listen and think, "Do you know what, I need to do that," it will. Just like, as I say with the YouTube thing, I thought, "Oh my God, I don't want to do this. I'm going to look a right prat. Who's going to watch this?" You know, it's just, I'm just going to look like a Wally sitting here. And then what was all that? That was all the ego and all the self-doubt and all that crap. And I thought, right, this is a no thinker. Don't do it. They obviously want me to do it. They pinged my phone with a YouTube link on it after I heard the word teach 3 times. And I thought, well, I'll do it. So I have. Do you know what I mean? Get yourself on the social media sites. Unfortunately, it's part of the game nowadays, isn't it? Instagram. I do Instagram and Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and it's ways of, one, helping to educate and help people, but also 2, to get you out there, so that people can be aware of what you do. And you know, that's the way it is now, isn't it? Excuse me, social media. So that's the way to do it. I would definitely, like I did, practice on your friends, practice on people with the delivery of it. I used to actually do workshops. Look out for workshops of people that are preparing you to do professional readings, because I used to do circles and workshops to help mediums learn how to deliver their reading, how to like deal empathically with somebody, and how to be professional, you know, with body language, what words to and not to say. And I also recommended people study either bereavement or even become a bereavement counsellor, or understand the dynamics of grieving, because you cannot do this work unless you know how to cope and deal with people that are in the rawest time of their life. Obviously, most people have needed to grieve healthily enough for you to speak with them, because I don't deal with anybody that hasn't grieved properly. So, you know, it's not just about the fact that you can talk to spirit people or the angel realms, or that you can see the future or the past or the present. It's also how you deal with the public. They're the most important thing in your life, that you've got them in the palm of your hand and they will listen to every single word you say. So this is one of the most important jobs you'll ever have to do. And if you say the wrong thing or you intimate the wrong thing, you're in big trouble, because you're going to ruin or influence that person's psychological well-being. You know, I've had to clear up so much mess from other mediums and what they've said to people. It is ridiculous. And even some of those have been top mediums that have completely smashed a family to pieces. So be careful, please. Don't make this about money. Make it about you wanting to help people. Learn your craft. There's so many people that, you know, like healers, for instance, they get a certificate and then suddenly they're a healer and they go out there, had no experience and they're charging money like Jesus Christ. And, you know, you see it. But thank God that's quite rare. All I will say, learn your craft, practice on people, get honest feedback, get your friends to bring their friends in who you don't even know, practice on them, and then get them to give you feedback about how you delivered it, how you started it, how you did the beginning, the end. In fact, what I'll do is, right, I will do a, good idea. I will do a video on how to deliver a reading. How about that? Would you like that? I don't know. You know, let me know what you would like me to talk about. Send me things on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let me know what you want me to talk about, because obviously, you know, I thought, you know what, all that typing, I might as well just put it on here and answer the questions that you've asked. But yeah, perhaps I could do that on here and, you know, show you how to deliver a reading for the people that are developing and want to know how to do it. You know, I could do that for you. But please let me know what you want me to talk about, because I don't want to be sitting here talking about myself all the time. Well, actually, I would. I'm joking. But, you know, give me stuff to talk about. Give me some subjects that you'd like me to talk about. By the way, thank you to, I'm not going to say your name because obviously it's a private thing, but I had a lady, a girl, email me, and that spirit person that came in, absolutely spot on, even down to the Lee. Where he used to live next to the River Lee. It was just, and the rattling change, the drinking, the pinky ring, everything. It was spot on. What a clever spirit man. Oh my God. He knew that his family would be watching this video and knew he could sneak in and say hello and happy birthday to his son-in-law. How amazing is that? Or his son, I can't remember now. But wasn't that brilliant? So he could get in and say happy birthday. I just love it. Anyway, I hope I've answered those questions okay. Email me if I haven't, or message me on Instagram, whatever. Yeah, it was through Instagram. I was just covering up a few, It was just, oh my God, I can't even think of the word. It was just covering, so it was not covering up. I was just covering all of the questions in one go. So that I didn't have to spend hours typing away. So anyway, my darlings, I'm actually going to go and do a couple of chapters now of my book. And I hope you've all enjoyed my new input. I've got a new job writing in Haunted Magazine as well now. So have a look at that. Haunted Magazine, I think it's .com or something. Yeah. Look in there. No, don't start those messages, madam. Yeah, so I've got a new little outlet in there, and a lot of them will be about my house investigations and the more darker parts of my career that I'll be putting in there, articles in there. I'll be doing all the spooky dooky stuff in there, which is good. And of course I've still got my columns in Fate and Fortune and Spirit and Destiny, and also Fate and Fortune Australia. And I'm really proud of that, and I love writing. Very, very lucky girl. So I hope that's okay for you. Please send me messages of what you'd like me to cover, because I'm here to answer your questions and help you understand things. If there's anything you want me to talk about, go for it. I'll do it. Okay, so I hope you have a fabulous weekend. The sun is coming out in here, so that's absolutely wonderful. Everything is fluffy and lovely in my world. Oh, I've just looked at my nan's photo. the angel wings around her, God bless her. And have a fab time, darlings. Go and do something. Get out in nature. Go and do something that makes you feel good about yourself, okay? And I shall speak to you next time. Take care of yourselves and each other. Joey Springer moment. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.